Welcome back, everybody. This is Question Mark,
And I'm Ame.
and we are continuing on our intrepid adventure, our epic journey of ranking every single legendary creature or card that can be a commander in the Marvel Super Heroes set, and we are currently significantly on her way through the Jumpstart set and all the other kind of corollary sets.
I think after this we might only have to do one more chunk, depending on how today's chunk goes.
Depending. And at the time of recording this, I haven't recorded the Fantastic Four Commander deck, and that would be the end of it finally. So, without any further ado,
Time for the Hulks.
yeah, we've got the Hulk that's from the scene boost, or from the scene box. Hulk always angry.
Me when I smile. Even when I'm told to smile. For 5 mana and 2 red, you get a 9/9 Gamma Berserker hero with Trample. When Hulk enters, destroy all artifacts. Hulk attacks each combat if able.
Okay, so a 7 mana 9/9 trample. Does that pass the vanilla test?
Oh, it does, and that Trample boosts it even farther.
Yeah. And when it enters destroy all artifacts, I presume if this is your commander, you're playing few to no artifacts.
Hulk smash!
He sure do. In fact, if we look up the card Smash, well, Hulk Smash, that's one thing, but the classic card Smash does in fact destroy an artifact. So that does fit. And then he attacks each combat if able. Well, I mean, that makes more sense than half of the Hulk cards that are out there.
Honestly, I think that attacking each combat if able could be a keyword on its own. I'd probably
Yeah.
call it Berserk or something.
Yeah, unfortunately, he is a Berserker as a creature type. So, and Berserk is a spell that does something very different. But that totally would work if they haven't already kind of used that namespace for other things. But still, yeah. It's also an ability that a lot of Juggernauts have. So maybe one day we'll get a Juggernaut card that does say that on it. But, okay, here's the thing though. Despite, like, really busting the mana curve, um, this guy doesn't seem like a worthwhile commander at all.
No.
No, no, no.
I think he's better off as your deck, one of your deck's bombs, rather than the leading man.
Oh yeah, I mean he's a very strong card. I think I'm gonna put him up around here in the sidekicks.
Yeah, it's like in the movie when, oh no, almost all is lost, but no, we have a Hulk, so we're good.
Yep, multiple times
That's
they're
what you
like,
want him to be for your deck.
you do this complicated thing. You do this complicated thing. Hulk,
Do what comes naturally.
smash. Yeah, because mono red is going to hold you back somewhat. Your commander costing 7 in these colors is going to hold you back somewhat. He doesn't really help you synergistically build any kind of deck. So he would be much better in the 99 of a deck that cares about Gamma or Hero or something like that.
Are there any cards that gain you some benefit when you destroy an artifact?
There are, although I'm struggling to think of one in red. I can think of one in green. It's not going to be relevant here necessarily, but Viridian Revel is the kind of thing that you would want to look for. Whenever an artifact is put into an opponent's graveyard from the battlefield, you may draw a card. Does red get something like this? I don't think so.
Good luck finding it.
But yeah, search for, whenever an artifact is put into a graveyard. And, good luck with that. But I don't think I want to spend more time on him.
Okay.
And we have to keep referring back to this because this is the list that doesn't include the Commander deck cards. So Hulk Bruce Banner is next.
But if you've been following us on this journey, you probably already knew that.
Yeah. So Hulk Bruce Banner is the next one.
Oh wow, I think this one's going even lower on the sidekick list.
Oh gosh, I mean it's an uncommon.
For 3 mana and 2 red, you get a 7/4 Gamma Berserker hero with Trample, and that's it.
Okay. So the vanilla test is a little tricky when we have such a asymmetry of power and toughness. But you can average them out. So you could subtract 1 power and add 1 toughness. It'd effectively be a 6/5 For 5.
Or
so
you
that
could-
does pass the vanilla test from that perspective.
Or you could just add the power to the toughness and divide by 2.
Yeah, which would get you, what, 5.5?
Somewhere thereabouts.
Yeah. In Magic, we don't do halves.
I know. But then you just assign...
I know.
Then you just assign... But then you just go, oh, okay, so that means one will be rounding up and one will be rounding down.
Either way, the average would be above 5, and so it'd pass the vanilla test. But there's, I mean, other than trample, obviously, there's nothing else going on here. This is the definition of a French vanilla Magic card.
Yep.
And it's also included in the red tutorial deck, so this is one of the welcome deck cards. It's supposed to teach you how to play Magic.
Perfect place for it.
Exactly. It's great there, and the question is it worth a place in the 99 of any deck ever? I think if you have a Gamma or Hero deck, that you know, it could go in that. Those creature types are somewhat supported in here, and he is above curve, so I'm tempted to say bottom of sidekicks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair.
Okay.
He might make it by virtue of how powerful he is for the cost.
Yeah.
But, you know, if everyone else has abilities that are just better, he's probably going to get cut.
Yeah, I mean,
It's worth sending the invite, but don't expect him to make it to the end.
Yeah, because there are lots of cards that care about heroes, and I think there's a few that care about Gamma, so keep an eye out for those. Next on our list is Hulk Brutal Brawler, the greenest creature in this set, I think.
I think so, too. I like this artwork.
Yeah.
For 2 mana and 2 green, you get a 4/4 Gamma Berserker hero. Hulk attacks each combat if able.
There you go, that Berserk ability.
Whenever Hulk attacks, put a 1/1 counter on each other creature you control. Okay, now we're getting somewhere with Commander Dumb.
Yeah,
Maybe
so
not great, but it's something.
here I do see a problem. I mean, so we're passing the vanilla test, right? But
Yes.
this card does have a drawback in that he has to attack each combat if able, and he puts a counter on each other creature, not himself. I think honestly this card's kind of bad. If he put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control whenever he attacks, then it'd be worth it because he'd grow and grow, and that'd be cool. Or if he didn't have to attack each combat, he'd be kind of worth it. But with both those things on here, he doesn't seem that good.
Ozolith.
Which is, I mean, cool, Ozolith, but I think that there are certainly better creatures out there for your +1/+1 counter decks that either are 2 colors or don't have drawbacks like this. You know, he doesn't have any form of evasion, no trample or anything. No, I think this is actually not what you want, and I don't think that it gets a whole lot better as a wild card, like with certain support. I think he goes once again into sidekicks, and he's arguably better than Hulk Bruce Banner, but like...
But not by a ton.
Yeah, I'm gonna lose sight a little bit of what all this middle ground is, but maybe around here. Just because he's likely to get himself killed. You know? Doesn't make a good commander.
Yeah.
Okay, I think Hulkling is next. No. Hulk's Strongest There Is.
No, Hulkling is next. It's just that you...
Oh, I did my alphabet a little wrong.
Yep.
Okay. Hulkling, Young Avenger.
He has too much wings and, I think, grace to be a Hulk.
Yeah, if you look at his creature type,
Kree Skrull hero.
he's not Gamma.
Interesting.
Yep.
I guess he calls himself Hulkling out of admiration or something, or maybe Hulk mentored him?
The Young Avengers, canonically, at least when they started, each picked an original Avenger that they took as, like, their role model.
Oh, now I remember. Yeah, yeah, that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of nice.
So, what does he do?
For 2 mana and 2 red, you get a 4/4 Kree Skrull hero with flying. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, Hulkling becomes a copy of up to 1 other target creature until end of turn. Except his name is Hulkling, Young Avenger, he's 4/4 and has flying and this ability.
Honestly, that's kind of sick. I keep thinking that the sheet is off to the right there, but it's off to the left. I'm gonna put him straight up into Super.
Wow.
Yeah. So, one of the biggest things here, whenever you cast a non-creature spell, easy low bar to cross. You know, it says up to one other target creature, so that means
You don't have to change if you don't
you
want.
don't have to change. And it doesn't say creature you control, so you can copy the best thing on the battlefield, one of your opponent's creatures. You're not stuck in just the things that you can get in mono red, although there's probably a lot of good options. And like look for a double striker. You know, that would be a great one.
Oh yeah, flying plus double strike. That's good stuff.
Oh yeah. So creature that you can play in a red commander deck that has double strike, and let's look at the EDH rec rank. Lizard Blades, that's a weird one. You can have him copy an equipment creature.
Neat.
You could have him copy Knuckles the Echidna. Oh no. Then you gain double strike, trample, haste, and you're making treasures and stuff. I mean, we're seeing
And if you
here.
control 30 or more artifacts, you win!
Yeah, honestly, there's a lot of options. You'd mostly want to be looking for things that are smaller than 4/4, so that you're probably getting a discount to cast them, and then he copies them and becomes a bigger version of them. There's probably a ton out there. Have fun brainstorming,
I just
and
thought
he
of a
seems
dumb
great.
I just
Yeah.
thought of a dumb joke to assign to him.
Oh,
He changes unless he feels like it. What a gender fluid icon.
hey, yep. And keep in mind that no matter what happens to him, he's always your commander, so 21 combat damage does kill a player. And when you start as a 4/4 and you gain double strike, that's 8. 3 hits does it, assuming that double strike is all that you've done. Look to play creatures that can get counters so that they stick, from one form to the next. Any number of things like that. So there's just lots of options there. Seems very powerful. Then there's Hulk, strongest there is.
Ah, the artwork of the Hulk in this I like the least.
Oh, okay.
For 2 mana and 2 green, you get a 3/3 Gamma Berserker hero with trample. Hulk enters with a 1/1 counter on him. At the beginning of your upkeep, double the number of 1/1 counters on each Gamma creature you control.
There you go. Okay. This guy, I think he's going to go into wild cards, but pretty high up in it. Maybe about here, between the Hawkeyes. Because this is the one that makes Gamma matter, so now all of a sudden you have a good reason to play those other Hulks in the 99. He isn't forced to attack, but instead actually has trample. And he enters with a +1/+1 counter on him, meaning that he is a 4-mana 4/4 with trample, who also doubles the counters. How is this one rare, but the other one that is worse is a mythic? I'm not entirely sure, but regardless, this one's just way better. I wonder how many. Actually, that's the one thing I need to look up. How many Gamma creatures are there in just green? Because a lot of them are red. Let's
A
see.
fair amount, but probably not a ton.
Yeah, I mean, I'm hoping that there's like 10, but I'm fearing that there's like 6 or 4 or something. Okay, so Gamma creatures in just green, there's 6. Okay. So, let me grab him here and put him down a few notches. Maybe around here or something.
Give it a few years and he'll probably gain some more support, which will bump him up
Yeah.
a few spots.
Also, you can look for some changelings. There might be a few changelings out there worth including. And, the +1/+1 synergies are rampant, but there's just obviously not enough creatures here to support a Gamma theme in just mono green. Oh, this was another one of the commanders that I thought would be good that cares about Gamma, because he cares about Gamma or villains, so at least you could diversify it a little bit. But, yeah, that theme is not there, and we know there's going to be more Marvel sets, but with Hulk being represented pretty strongly in this set, I doubt that he's going to have as many cards in any one set going forward.
But anything's possible.
You never know.
Maybe it won't be Hulk. Maybe it'll just be a bunch of other Gamma folks.
Maybe.
They seem to be kind of a clan.
There's at least one Gamma character who isn't represented anywhere in this set, from what I've heard. But Hyperion is the next one on our list. And I've heard that this guy is Marvel's Superman, but I've heard that about like at least 3 different characters. So I don't entirely know this guy's deal.
He looks a bit punchable.
Oh, yeah.
For 4 mana and 3 white, you get a 7/7 Eternal Hero with Flash and Flying. If a source would deal damage to you or a hero you control, prevent all but 1 of that damage.
Dang. Okay. So, is this guy a good commander? No. No, he does, like, care about heroes, so you could say, you could build a mono-white hero deck. Nah, don't do that with a 7-mana commander. Not in mono-white. Don't do that. Don't have your flash... don't be out here flashing people from the command zone.
No, you flash people from your hand, as is tradition.
Yes, not from the command zone. So bad as a commander, but a powerful card for sure. Well exceeding the vanilla test and caring about heroes. A very well supported type here. It is interesting to see Eternal as a creature type.
As in the Eternals?
Yes, literally so.
I never got into that one.
Yeah, me neither. They made a TV show out of it, and I heard it was... Wait, no. I'm thinking of something else.
They made a movie
That's
out
the
of them.
Inhumans. The movie, The Eternals, is one of the okayest movies in the MCU.
So I've heard. Plus, I got to admit, I'm getting really sick of this Chariots of the Gods nonsense.
Okay. Well, so... Once again, I went the wrong direction. Hyperion. Okay, so he's going to be a sidekick. How strong do I think he is? I think he's actually quite strong. If you're building a hero deck that is 2 or 3 colors, you could probably put this guy as the curve topper. And I love that last effect where he's preventing damage. That's going to save your creatures. That's almost as good as indestructible. And you can drop it in response to a blasphemous act. You can drop it in response to a bad combat. Maybe one that you started on purpose to be bad. And then be like, whoop, actually all my guys are fine. So, yeah.
I kind of think it's a fool's errand for someone to try to make their own version of Superman. Because that's Superman. The man's special.
Yeah. I mean, I think people mean different things when they say Marvel's version of Superman. The simplest thing I think they mean is that he's got super strength, flight, he's a good guy, and he's just generally kind of godlike. But I don't know what else beyond that. I've heard people say in the past that Sentry is Marvel's Superman, and that's just not true. Especially with how he's portrayed in the Thunderbolts. That's
more like
definitely not true.
If Superman had suicidal depression.
Yeah. I've also heard it said that this guy, I think his name is Gladiator, is Marvel's Superman. Except Gladiator is an X-Men kind of universe, like on the edge of the X-Men stuff. He's an alien. He has a giant mohawk. And I don't know that much about him, but he's not like your average boy from Kentucky just souped up to 1,000%. He
Honestly,
is an alien, I don't know.
I think Marvel's real answer to Superman is Captain America.
When
like,
we're talking ideologically, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But we are supposed to be looking at Iceman and Firestar.
That is some lovely artwork.
Yes, it is. And if I remember right, there was a cartoon in like the 70s called Spider-Man and His Super Friends. And these 3 were the main characters.
That might actually be fun to watch. Fun fact.
I might not like it, but it was charming and campy, especially for its day. I think it came after like Spider-Man 63 that has the famous theme song and the really bad animation. So it's a notch above that, but not quite to the like 90s Spider-Man down down down. Not quite to that level.
Check out that flavor text.
Aren't my friends amazing? Yes, it's Spider-Man and his amazing super friends. Okay, what do they do?
For 2 mana and 2 hybrid blue-red mana, you get a 3/3 mutant hero with flying. Whenever you cast a blue spell, tap up to 1 target creature. Whenever you cast a red spell, you may discard a card, and if you do, draw a card.
So it's interesting that the second ability says, well, I guess flying's the first ability, but whatever. The last ability says you may, but the middle ability says up to 1. And the result is very similar, that you can do it or not, basically. But you may. It's a very small semantic difference, so who cares? The main thing is that this is a deck that rewards you for playing lots of blue spells and lots of red spells, and therefore play lots of blue and red spells. Except how does it reward you? By tapping down some creatures and looting. And that's not very powerful. Sad to say. A 4 mana in hybrid 3/3 flyer with some abilities would be okay, but I really wish that one of these abilities was like draw a card and the other one was like deal a damage to something. It reminds me of one of the oldest commanders, Tibor and Lumia. Oh, I missed Lumia. Because Commander started a little while after Ravnica.
Wow, these people look like superheroes.
They are brother and sister who are from the Izzet League, and whenever you cast a blue spell, you give a creature flying, and whenever you cast a red spell, you deal 1 damage to each creature without flying. So the idea, you give them flying, and then you burn everyone below them.
Nice.
So this is actually... I never thought I'd say this. This is kind of better. This card from 2006 is arguably a better commander than this card from 2026. Except this is an uncommon, so it's not supposed to be that good. So I'm torn here because I don't think that they're that strong. I don't think that as a wild card, like with enough support, it'd be better. And I don't think that there's a deck that they go in as sidekicks. So the crappy thing is, I think that they go at the top of rejects. Just because there isn't really a place for them. They are not as bad as some of these cards. But I don't see a reason to play this in the 99 of any deck other than maybe Tibor and Lumia, which nobody's playing Tibor and Lumia. Like, they're worth a quarter.
Fun fact, Iceman was one of the original X-Men.
That's true. He was in the first class, although at the time, he looked more like Snowman.
Yes, but as... they changed his art style to be more ice-like, sleek and ice-like over time, and the in-universe explanation is that he refined his control over his powers, so...
Yeah. In fact, I've heard that eventually he's said to be an Omega-level mutant, on par with, like, the Phoenix Force version of Jean Grey, and, like, some of the most powerful mutants that there is, because he has a control over temperature of H2O, and H2O is in like every living thing, and temperature is in like everything, so he can like...
There is never a point where water and temperature do not matter.
Yeah, so he can turn into liquid and like dissipate into a mist, turn into a river, come back from being annihilated in those kinds of ways. He could freeze the air inside your lungs just from it being kind of wet.
Remember, when he's throwing ice grenades, he's being nice.
Yeah, however, I've heard that the only reason why he isn't seen to have gone to that level is just because he doesn't feel like it. He's not trying hard enough, basically.
Honestly, I respect that decision because
Yeah.
you know how people react to Omega level mutants.
Yeah.
I mean, there's nothing you can do. You just become a government asset at that point.
Or you become a threat to the whole world.
Yeah, you got to pick one or the other, and neither is particularly pleasant.
So I do think it's kind of funny that they said basically that, like, if only he'd apply himself. Ah, he was so talented and gifted, you know.
You know what happens when you get that talented and gifted? Your life gets harder, so no thank you.
And a lot of those kids burn out, you know, and that's what happened to Bobby Drake. He's still Iceman, but he's just doing okay.
But that's okay, but that's good.
Yeah.
If that's good enough for him, then that's good enough for him.
As we move on to Immortus, Master of Eternity.
Immortus, reason we had that one really creepy episode of the Avengers.
Really?
Oh, yes.
I don't remember this.
Wait,
Episode of the Avengers?
Not episode of the Avengers, issue of the Avengers. I think it was
Oh,
like
I
their...
don't know.
I can't remember if it was their 200th or 300th episode.
Okay.
Really?
Issue?
You have to know about this. Yeah,
No.
in the comics.
This does not ring a bell.
I'll be damned.
I feel like I've seen him in a cover before.
Okay. Basically, Marvel decided to pull a bit of a publicity stunt where Ms. Marvel would have a baby.
Okay.
So, and the way this story played out is weird and sexist. Okay, so Ms. Marvel just wakes up one day and, hang on, why am I heavily pregnant all of a sudden?
Huh.
What happened?
Oh, I think you know what happened.
No, really, yesterday, completely flat.
Oh. Okay.
Today, ready to pop. Something ain't right here.
Uh-huh.
So, she gives birth, and the kid grows supernaturally fast, and then he explains that his name is...
Immortus? No.
Marcus, actually, son of Immortus.
Huh. Weird.
He was using his father... He wanted to come to our dimension from where he was, but in order to do that, he needed a human woman to give birth to him, so he kidnapped Ms. Marvel and used his father's machines to kind of bring her to a romantic fantasy land where they fell in love, they had sex, he sent her back because, okay, time to have her give birth to me.
Okay, this is all crazy, and honestly, it's a bit too much for what we're trying to do right now.
But yeah, that's what I think about whenever I hear about this guy.
Okay.
It's not flattering.
Well, what does he do?
For 2 mana and 2 blue, you get a 2/2 human hero villain. If you tap him, you can add blue for each card you've drawn this turn. Spend this mana only to cast non-creature spells.
Huh.
And his power-up is 5 mana and 2 blue, and each player shuffles their hand and graveyard into the library and then draws 7 cards. Put a 1/1 counter on Immortus.
So, I recognize that last ability there, and it's from Time Twister. Time Twister.
That is pretty art. I like it.
Yes, it is. So, this card is from Alpha.
Woo!
It is seen as one of the Power 9, as the only version of it that's on the market right now that is legal
Jesus
is about $5,000.
On a motor scooter.
I have a buddy who got one of these as a gift from his wife for their 10-year anniversary, and it was less than half this price at the time. Actually, I think it was an unlimited one, though. Maybe... Oh, well, still.
That's still a lot.
Yeah, so this is considered one of the Power 9, up there with Black Lotus and the original Mox. And yet, it's the only part of the Power 9 that is not banned in Commander. So this card is legal in Commander. But you don't see people play it because it's very expensive. So he can do it, but also, more importantly, because that's going to happen a little later, he can tap for blue for each card you've drawn this turn. That does seem pretty powerful. I would think that this is actually a deck where, yeah, you would want to put Time Twister in the 99 so that you can draw 7 cards and then tap him for 7 mana and then power him up.
Although, probably proxy it.
Yeah, we are very pro-proxy here. I'm not trying to play against your pocketbook. I don't think that your creativity and skill should be held back by your wallet, especially if Time Twister I don't think is like a crazy powerful card in Commander in terms of like it's not punishing, you know?
If it helps,
Yeah.
the vintage Masters version is about $8.
It's 8 ticks in Magic Online.
Oh, I
Yeah.
don't know what that means.
Well, Magic Online barely exists anymore. Arena, it's yeah, there we go. It's available on Arena, for not real money. And then what's this? You can pay for an official proxy for $800.
How about no?
No.
Never mind. Forget what I said.
Yeah, 30th Anniversary is the worst product in Magic's history, as booster packs cost $1,000, and none of the cards in them were legal in any format. So, just...
Basically unusable. It's scalper slop, really.
And I heard a rumor that they sold so few of them that they quietly gathered up a bunch of the extras that they had and like destroyed them to maintain the market value of the singles that were left on the market, so that they wouldn't have box after box after box of 30th Anniversary sitting on store shelves going unsold year after year, seeing them on sale, seeing them like the prices plummet and stuff.
Ah,
So all that said, and you can probably afford a Windfall instead. Just Windfall will also draw you 7-ish cards. So just do that. Immortus, I think where I need to put him is in wild cards, and probably around here.
right between the Hawkeyes.
Between the Hawkeyes again. And this is because I don't think that this is a particularly sound strategy to like win the game.
It seems like a good method for prolonging the game.
Well, you can make a whole bunch of blue, and then with a whole bunch of blue, you can do something that hopefully ends the game. But please end the game. If you're a blue player, find a way to end the game. One of the simplest and one of my favorites is just play Talrand. When you cast those spells, you'll make some drakes. They fly, and you can attack someone with like 12 drakes and kill them. You know, just do that kind of thing. As we finally move on from Mortis to Impossible Man.
This guy got into a fight with Warlock once. It was funny.
Boy, he looks weird.
He transforms a lot.
Yeah, well, I guess so. Well, what does he do in Magic the Gathering?
For 2 mana and a blue, you get a 1/4 alien shapeshifter with flying. For 2 mana and a blue, Impossible Man becomes a copy of another target permanent until end of turn, except his name is Impossible Man. Everyone knows we pop-up-ians can turn ourselves into anything just by thinking of it.
Jeez, he's not wrong. So this guy can be pretty crazy. He becomes a copy of another target permanent until end of turn. Except his name is still this, so he still counts as your commander. So if there's a better permanent on the battlefield, he can become it. And odds are there's going to be a better permanent on the battlefield. I can hardly begin to know what exactly to do with this guy, except to just remind you that like Training Grounds is a thing you can play in mono blue that reduces the cost of activated abilities by 2, so that his ability just costs a blue. There might be some infinite combo involved with that.
So get him a discount and let him be annoying.
He can become a copy of some giant creature and hit for commander damage. Oh, one important thing that you can do, since you can activate his ability at instant speed, you can attack somebody, let them try to block and fail because of the flying, and then after blockers are declared, you can transform him into something larger that doesn't need to have flying anymore because the blocking phase is already passed.
I'm going on a bit of a nostalgia trip about the story where he and Warlock fought because, again, it was funny. You just have these two transforming aliens trying to outdo each other with their transformations.
Well, I'm going to put him at the top of wild cards because it is not obvious to me what he's supposed to do exactly, but boy, can he do it. The options are kind of endless. I'm not sure what the strongest thing out there is going to be. So he does need some support, but you could build something really creative. Johnny's, get the creative juices flowing.
Yeah. Let's go.
So next on our list is Iron Fist. Okay, this one, Hero for Hire, which I believe is the comic that he was in with Luke Cage and a few others.
For 1 mana and a red, you get a 2/2 human mercenary hero with trample and prowess. And for those of y'all who don't remember, prowess is whenever you cast a non-creature spell, the creature gets 1/1 until end of turn. And his power-up, it costs 7 mana and a red.
Whoa.
For Iron Fist to do 5 damage divided as you choose among up to 5 targets. Put 5 1/1 counters on Iron Fist.
Whoa! Okay. Okay, I was about here to say that, like, well, paying a whole bunch of mana for a medium amount of damage is still not bad. If you got nothing better to do, heck, you can do power-up abilities at instant speed after all. But you put 5 counters on him, meaning that he's a 7/7 trample prowess now. Yeah, that's genuinely strong. So the tough thing is that he's competing with somebody like a particular Thor. Oh no. Not every card that has Thor anywhere in the name. I'm talking about just one of the Thors, please. Oh boy.
Sorry.
Oh, you did it to me.
You walked right into it.
Yeah, okay, where is he? There's one that has prowess. How are they... Is there one that's, like, not in alphabetical order? Yes! Thor Odinson for some reason. I don't care. This guy is directly competing with you as your commander. He includes one more color and has double prowess. And starts off bigger and has flying and vigilance. This is a pretty intimidating commander. This, however, despite being fewer colors and not having, like, double prowess or anything crazy like that, does come out in half the time. It comes out on turn 2 consistently. I think this is pretty strong.
He's very efficient.
Yeah, and your prowess triggers can be off of things like burn spells, and I think that just when red kind of stalls out a bit because it's used its spells that red is pretty efficient for like 1, 2, or 3 mana at doing like 2, 3, or 4 damage, something like that. But you start getting up into the bigger numbers, and red struggles to kill your dinosaurs and your demons and stuff like that.
With red, the hits come fast and they come quick, but once you've gotten your set built up a little bit, then they can struggle to get to the next step.
And you have to be careful not to just straight up run out of cards. I've played plenty of red decks where I've just, all right, I blew my whole load and my opponent's not dead, so I guess we're done here. There's just going to be a couple turns of me being beaten up now. But right when that happens in the red deck, or around then, he powers up into a 7/7, punches somebody into next Tuesday, and then he's still got prowess and trample ready to go. So I think I'm gonna put him all the way up into strong, or up into super, I should say.
Everybody was kung fu fighting.
And part of the reason why here is that wildcards need support. They need you to go out of your way a bit to support them. You can't just play good cards and then they work. Iron Fist, though, triggering off of prowess for casting non-creature spells, you were gonna cast non-creature spells. You don't have to go out of your way for that. And getting your commander out on turn 2 and start beating people up, by going like, okay, lightning bolt your blocker, hit you for 3. You're going to have some really strong plays there. You can play mana rocks and buff him while doing so. So yeah, he's pretty impressive. As we go on to our next one, Iron Lad, who I don't think I know. He's clearly like some kind of Iron Man suit, but he's somehow a human.
Oh my god, he's a version of Kang.
What?
Read the flavor text,
Yeah.
man.
So he is.
He's one of the multitude of Kangs.
Great. Well, Iron Lad, Young Avenger, what does he do?
For 2 mana and a hybrid blue-red mana, you get a 2/2 human hero with flying, and non-creature spells you cast cost 1 less.
That's a really good ability.
Yeah, it is. Who doesn't love a good discount?
That's a really good ability. Okay, because where that is at its best is for artifact combos. There's so many artifacts that you can make just cost 0 this way. And I was actually building a deck not too long ago based on... Where are you? There. Gran. This nice old lady for 1 mana, and then in theory on like turn 3 she goes infinite and I defeat all of my opponents at once. In her case, you have to get 3 or more lesson cards into your graveyard, and then she lets all of your stuff cost 1 less, and those things are going to be something like...
Grandma says you gotta learn some lessons before she lends you her aid.
Yes. They're going to be Sensei's Divining Top, which would be free, and also something like Reality Chip, which would cost 1 in this case, but you do have to pay the 3 mana to reconfigure it. And as long as the Reality Chip is attached to a creature, you can play lands and cast spells from the top of your library. So with these 2 things out, on either Gran or on Iron Lad the Young Avenger, you can cast infinite non-creature spells, or at least until you run out of cards in your deck, and draw every card in your deck. And then you can play something like, let's see, Lab Man is what everyone calls him. Laboratory Maniac. Where if you have no cards in your deck and you're supposed to draw again, you win instead of losing. You know, so Iron Lad really lends itself to some infinite combos. There's lots of other artifacts that give you a discount to your non-creature spells, or that trigger off of casting non-creature spells to do damage to people. I mean, Coruscation Mage, whenever you cast a non-creature spell, this deals 1 damage to each opponent. There's like 6 cards like this that you could play that are all pretty good. So the crazy thing is that this guy, I think if you know your druthers, then he's going to be a bracket 4 commander.
Whew!
Maybe... I hesitate to say 5. In part because he is an artifact, which means he can be blown up by a few more things than normal. His flying is irrelevant if you're doing all this stuff. But he does give you access to 2 colors. 3 mana in CEDH is also, like... It's not nothing. But, yeah. So, I think for his combo potential, I have to put him up in Super.
Yeah.
I don't really like this kind of deck building. The only reason why I was doing so for Gran was for the lulz. Because I thought it would be funny to bring this old lady to the competitive commander table. The bracket 5 old lady waving at you. Oh, hello. Well, it seems you died. So, next though we have Iron Man Bleeding Edge. Where are you, Iron Man Bleeding Edge? What are you? Ah, this one. There's so many Iron Men.
Woo!
Okay.
I see you've turned your fist into lobsters.
Ah, yeah, okay. What does he do?
For 3 mana and 2 blue, you get a 3/5 legendary artifact creature, human hero, with flying. Whenever you cast an artifact spell, you may copy it, except the copy isn't legendary. Do this only once each turn. The copy becomes a token.
Well. This seems very good. This is another deck where I think I'm going to recommend Urza's Battlethopter. Liberator. Except in this deck, you can cast it and get 2 of them.
Liberators!
It copies even legendaries in a way that is good. But yeah, you may cast colorless spells and artifact spells as though you had flash. So now you can cast a spell on each player's turn and copy it. And what can those be? They could be. Let's do something on theme. What's the name of the thing that's in his chest? It's not a flux capacitor. It's
Dar
oh shoot.
Iron Man, Iron Core.
Oh no.
Proof that Tony Stark has a heart.
Yeah, it's that. It's his. I know.
Power source. Oh my god, I'm gonna feel so stupid when I remember what it is.
Okay. I'm going to look it up a different way. It is an artifact that is colorless, and it's in it taps for mana, and it has I think it's like this symbol in it, and we're going to just sort by recency. And then, because I think you need to know this one. Release date? What? When? What? That's not... Okay. Was that the problem? I'm looking for artifacts that tap for colorless mana that's in the Marvel set. What's the problem here?
Are you sure that's what it does?
Maybe the problem is I've messed up the tap symbol. Tap symbol needs to be like that. There we go. It's the arc reactor. That's the kind of thing I'm thinking of. So
I told you we'd feel dumb when we found out.
Yeah, okay. So, reason why I'm suggesting it. First off, you can improvise it to get onto the battlefield for a lot less than 5. You can tap all of your artifacts basically as though they all have a mana ability that makes colorless. This enters tapped, okay, who cares? You still copy it, and now you've got 2 mana rocks for close to 0 mana that each tap for triple. So that's just one good example of things that you can do with it. I don't know. There's kind of infinity things that you can do with this. 5 mana isn't too long to wait on this, I think. But definitely put in lots of things that allow you to cast spells at instant speed, at least artifact spells. And there are more, like Vidalcan Orrery. Put in lots of that stuff, and I think this Bleeding Edge one is super. I am going to say probably wait, how is Giant Man up so high?
That's where you put him. Don't you remember what he does?
Yeah, I think that I need to be moving some of these up here. Probably like here and like here. Because Giant Man was only kind of good. Okay. There. Now then. The next one on our list is another Iron Man. We've got 3 more Iron Mans here. Iron Man Modern Marvel. Okay, let's see what this one does.
For 2 mana and 2 blue, you get a 3/3 human hero with flying. Other artifact creatures you control get +1/+1. Whenever Iron Man attacks, if you control another artifact creature, draw a card.
Okay, you know what this is? Fair magic.
Yes, it is.
This is magic as Richard Garfield intended. Okay, a 4 mana 3/3 flyer, solid. Gives your other artifact creatures you control +1/+1, solid, great. He's like a old school lord, but he's a lord for artifacts. Cool, fine. When he attacks, you draw a card with the low effort of just having to control one other artifact. Easy, no problem. Is this gonna, like, break any backs or
No.
really get anyone's titties in a twist? No, but you know what? I think...
People are not going to get mad at you for playing this.
Do I put him at the bottom of Super? I think probably so, because he's repeatable card draw effect, and has a Anthem on him for artifacts. It's super easy, barely an inconvenience. You're playing mono blue, not really a problem. So I don't think that you really have to go out of your way very much to make this work. He's nowhere near as strong as Bleeding Edge and the crazy stuff you could do with this. But this is I would be happy to sit down and play against this and probably lose to a bunch of Thopters or something. Which one? Which one is next? Oh, I don't think I got my alphabet right. I didn't.
No, you didn't.
Futurist Paragon. I messed it up. Futurist Paragon, because he's from the scene box. What does he do?
For 4 mana and 2 blue, you get a 5/5 human hero with flying. At the beginning of combat on your turn, target artifact or creature becomes an artifact creature with base power and toughness 5/5 and gains flying.
Okay.
Ooh.
So, and he
You get a super suit! You get a super suit! Everybody gets a super suit!
Okay, so it even happens on the turn that he enters. So what's the most powerful thing that you can do by making something into a creature that's got 5 power? I have an idea.
Make weak sauce with great ability into big boy.
Yeah, kinda. I'm thinking, how much infect do we have in blue?
Ooh.
Okay. Hold on, let's sort by, mana value. Okay. Well, we're not going to play the Happy Dead Squirrel. We might play Blighted Agent. Oh my god. Yeah, Blighted Agent is a 1/1 infect unblockable for 2. And target artifact or creature becomes an artifact creature with... Yeah, so this would become a 5/5 flying unblockable infect artifact creature.
Oh no!
And you would kill a player in 2 hits.
Yep.
Same is true for Ichorclawmere, Necropede, Plaguemere. All of these cost 2 mana and would effectively be 5/5 infect flyers in this deck. That's probably the single strongest thing that you can do, strangely enough, is drop some infect creatures and then Tony Stark and then kill somebody in 1 or 2 turns with infect.
Iron Man. Urza, but a good guy.
Nope, not today. However, until you get your commander out, this deck sucks. And when you play any of these creatures... if you don't warn people ahead of time, by the way, I'm playing mono blue Iron Man Infect. If you don't warn people about that, and you just drop this on turn 4, people will be like, wait a second.
So maybe save this guy for, sounds like, bracket 4.
I think that if you play this in bracket 2, you are lying. If you play this in bracket 4, you might get whooped. But hopefully you can tune this up to bracket 4. The only problem I see really is that it takes until turn 6 for this guy to come out. And so if people know your strategy, they're probably going to wallop you before that time. So I think this is the Iron Man that I need to put into Wildcard. Because you do need to go out of your way for this. But it is still quite strong. I think I'm going to put him up here. As we go on to, I think, our last Iron Man of the day. I believe it was Iron Man Tony Stark. Let me double check.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay. Didn't mess up the alphabet on this one. Just a couple that came before it. What does he do?
For 3 mana and 2 red, you get a 3/3 human hero with flying. Attacking creatures you control get +1/+0. Whenever you cast a red spell, create a 2/1 colorless robot hero artifact creature token with flying.
So this
is a lot of adjectives.
Yeah. So this is in the red tutorial, welcome deck, I guess. And so you would think that maybe this card is, just mild.
I actually don't think so.
And it fails the vanilla test. But I think this card's awesome. Because casting a red spell is a really low bar, and what you get for it is effectively a 3/1 flyer. And you can do that, a lot. So...
Red if it pretended to be white for a while.
Mm-hmm. I mean, this is a deck where you play Pyretic Ritual.
Oh, yeah.
Cost 2, makes 3, and a robot. You could play. Is the card Need for Speed? No, no, don't play this one. Don't play this one. Is it Expedite? Close, close. This one's still pretty good. Instant is a red spell. You get a robot. You draw a card. Oh, it gives haste. Cool. I believe there is a red spell that gives all creatures you control haste for just 1 red. That's the one you want to do. Because then you can cast like 4 red spells on your turn and then give all of your robots haste and attack for like, let's see, 4, no, let's say 5 in this case, times 3, so 15. And you get to keep all of them, and you do it again next turn.
Dr. Doom, eat your heart out.
Yeah, so I've said before, like, do you have to go out of your way? And that's the like kind of definition of a wild card here. Well, you don't have to go out of your way to cast a red spell.
Because that's just gonna happen.
Yeah, but I do think that to optimize this deck, you will have to focus on playing lots and lots of 1 mana spells. And strangely, holding off on most of them until you've got 5 mana and you've dropped Iron Man. I think that this is a deck that could easily be underestimated, and it might not be as powerful as a few other mono red decks out there, but I think it is quite good. I'm going to put it up around like here. So, next on our list is Jack of Hearts. Okay, I don't think I know this guy.
I don't know this
I
guy
heard
either, but I
somebody
like
talking
the
about
theming.
him the other day.
The costume's pretty groovy too, but what is that thing on his face?
It's like a
Half
Harlequin mask.
Oh, I like that.
Wait a second. They're red hearts. They're red hearts on his eyes. Or only on the one heart, only on the one eye. He's got like a half face here.
Oh, right.
It's like that's bronze and that's a heart.
Except I think it's the Jack of Diamonds that's a one-eyed Jack.
Well, he's got 2 eyes. He's just got a heart over one of them.
Okay, but it's a reference to the typical art style of playing cards. You know the ones.
Sure. Well, what does he do?
For 1 mana and 2 red, you get a 2/2 alien human hero with flying and haste. When Jack of Hearts dies, he deals damage equal to his power to each creature, and his power-up costs 4 mana and 2 red. You discard your hand, then draw 3 cards. Put 2 1/1 counters on Jack of Hearts.
Okay.
So it looks like at most he's gonna die and deal 3 damage to each creature.
I mean, if you powered him up, it
something.
would be 4, which is
right.
a fair amount. I think I want to kind of quickly put this guy into sidekicks, maybe somewhere around like here.
I am intrigued by this dashing-looking character, though.
Yeah, we had a friend whose house we went over to, he played Jumpstart with us, and he opened this card and said that he knew this character and thought it was a really interesting way of representing him flavorfully. I think what he's implying there is that Jack of Hearts dies.
A lot.
Or something. But to be honest, 3 mana 2/2 flying haste is not bad. And when he dies, he shocks everything. All of this is okay, but it's really nothing to build your commander, like your deck around, I don't think.
Yeah.
You could build maybe some kind of fling deck, like the card Fling. Another... I'm just looking for the card called Fling. There. Okay. Maybe you can read this one for us?
As an additional cost to cast the spell, sack a creature. Fling deals damage equal to the sacrificed creature's power to any target. Oh, so you could get basically double shock.
Yeah. And also I imagine you'd put a lot of things in here that would increase his power temporarily, probably. There's a lot of spells that for 1 or 2 mana that can boost this guy like 3 or 4 power. And then you do a much bigger boom and you can sacrifice them at instant speed with things like Fling, or there's a MDFC, a double-faced card. Wait a second, they're doing the fastball special. Wait a second. No. Well, you get the idea. Anyway, yeah, I don't think that this guy makes sense as a commander, but
He'd make a good sidekick, though.
yeah, and I guess you
great
could
one,
do
even.
him as a commander, but I think that the deck's not going to be particularly strong, considering that I think that the optimal way to do him is to probably just, like, pump your commander, hit somebody, and then explode him. Just, like, strap a bomb to his chest, throw him at your opponent, and then blow him
Kamikaze
up.
Commander!
Yeah.
Oh god, that's terrible. Don't do
Yeah.
that. It seems
That's-
inefficient.
It seems distasteful. And you can only do it a couple times before it gets cost prohibitive. As we move on to Carolina. Carolina Dean, Runaway. Okay, this is interesting.
She looks like a pop star, but not in a legend way, more of a... I don't know. I'm not impressed.
Okay.
But whatever.
All right.
For 3 mana and a red, you get a 3/3 alien hero with flying. At the beginning of your first main phase, add Wooburg. You can't spend this mana to cast spells from your hand.
Now that's interesting. That's really interesting. So now this could technically fall into the category of 5-color slop commanders, because it is a commander where you don't have to pay 5 colors to get it out, but you can play 5 colors if it's your commander, and so you could kind of throw anything in here, and so it's easy to build these decks poorly. I think that the intention here is that there was a Jumpstart pack that has a Runaways theme, and you could play all of the Runaways in the deck if Carolina's the commander. But I don't know that that's very good. Strangely, if she isn't your commander, you could use the mana to cast your commander. So...
Right, she'd actually be a good Wooburg facilitator.
Yeah, like if your commander is somebody like...
Kenrith.
Kenrith. No, well...
That was the first one I could think of. Sorry.
Yeah. Oh, you know what? Chromat. If your commander costs Wooburg, like this idiot.
Or First Sliver.
Oh god, a Sliver commander. Now, granted, oh, wait. Okay, not the first Sliver, but what about a Sliver Overlord? Because I think what you want from Carolina here, if she is supporting a 5-color commander, what you want ideally is one that costs 5 mana, the Wooburg up here, and has a use for the mana that she makes in an activated ability like this. So Sliver Overlord might have a reason to play a non-Sliver in the 99. I don't know.
I know someone who would like to hear that news.
Oh, God. Well, I think you'd probably be better off if you were not doing a Kindred commander. But off the top of my head, I forget all the 5-color commanders that are out there. Actually, now that I think about it, it would be really good in a Chromat deck.
Yeah.
Because it would help you cast Chromat, and it would help you activate like 2 of his abilities every turn. Not that he's overall that good, but...
Carolina, Chromat's crony.
Now, if she's in the 99, okay, you can't spend her mana to cast spells, but you can, not from your hand, but you can activate abilities, and you can cast spells from exile, from your graveyard. There's a lot of things in red now that do exile cards and then let you play them from exile. The one I remembered just the other day was Light Up the Stage. I was struggling to remember this card the other day. In fact, can you read us this one?
For 2 mana and a red, you get a sorcery. With Spectacle Red, you may cast this spell for its spectacle cost rather than its mana cost if an opponent lost life this turn. Exile up the 2 top cards of your library. Until end of your next turn, you may play those cards.
Yeah.
Places, everyone!
Mm-hmm. So in red decks, it tends to be pretty easy to make an opponent lose at least 1 life at some point. You know, just 1 damage will do it. And then you have 1 red for basically draw 2 cards, except you're technically casting them from somewhere other than your hand. So lots of cards like that would work really well with Carolina Dean. So all that said, I think she's going to go in wild cards, and I think I'm going to put her right around the middle. Maybe right around here somewhere.
Maybe I judged her too harshly at the beginning.
Yeah, I mean, she's a 3/3 flyer for 4, which is not much below the vanilla test threshold, and then she makes you 5 mana every turn. It's just you build your deck around, finding a way to spend that mana, and I'm sure that you can do something good with that.
All right, who's next?
Who is next indeed? It's Kingpin.
Kingpin!
Wilson Fisk.
The man, the myth, the legend.
We just finished watching season 1 of the Daredevil TV show, the original from Netflix.
And nobody's called him Kingpin yet.
I think the closest that we came was the reporter using a king of diamonds to represent him at the top of his little board.
Yep.
But even then, I think there was just like a question mark on him, and then like cut to Wilson Fisk.
If you haven't seen Daredevil, I highly recommend it. There are some fantastic relationships in this, and I love everybody.
It's an excellent drama. The characters are really engaging and 2 or maybe even 3-dimensional. There are some great action sequences, at least every other episode. It's a bit of a slow burn sometimes. There's some legal drama. It's great. Especially season 1, Wilson Fisk is a really great villain.
Oh my god, the presence. Anyway, for 3 mana and a black, you get a 3/6 human villain with Menace. Whenever you sacrifice Kingpin or another creature, create 2 treasure tokens. This ability triggers only once each turn. I feel like they did my man dirty here.
Well, okay, so first off, vanilla test. 4 mana, you'd expect to have a 4/4. If you do the math there, it's 9, so it's 4.5.
Yeah.
So he passes the vanilla test and has Menace, and when you sacrifice a creature, you make 2 treasures. That actually is quite powerful, even if it's not super clear. Like, okay, you're only triggering it once each turn, but you can trigger it on your opponent's turns. So...
Make sure you're sacking everything but Wilson, I guess, unless it's absolutely necessary.
Yeah, exactly. You sacrifice Wilson, like, in response to a board wipe or some other kind of removal aimed at him.
Yeah.
You're like, well, if I'm going to die anyway, I'll leave some treasure behind. But there are lots and lots of ways of doing this. But he basically becomes the commander of a mono-black Aristocrats deck. And there's lots of Aristocrats decks out there, but I think he's a really strong contender considering how much mana he can make you.
I would hope so. He is the Kingpin.
Absolutely. How much treasure he gets for you. And I'm thinking Viscera Seer is the most popular Aristocrats enabler, considering it's 1 to cast, and you just sacrifice a creature, scry 1. So your turn, you do it, you get 2 treasures. Each of your opponent's turns, you do it again, you get like 8 treasures.
See the future and make money.
So,
honestly, that's perfect.
So the trick is, though, you need to have a supply of creatures to do this to, right? So what do? That's, I think, the tough part. Because there's lots of cards like this, and there's also lots of cards like... oh no, that's not what I was hoping for. I was hoping for this. Oh yeah. Good, this is another one. Sacrifice another creature or artifact, surveil 1. That's arguably even better, but it costs 1 more mana. And the things that you spend all that mana on, I mean, it's Exsanguinate is the obvious one. You just make each opponent lose X life and you gain that much. And you do it for like 30 at some point. Easy peasy. But how do you get that many creatures?
Tokens?
Yes, tokens. You need to break the symmetry of having 1 card equals 1 creature to sacrifice. What about Endrick? Is it Endrick Sar? Endrick Sar. Can you read this one to us?
For 4 mana and a black, you get a 2/2 human wizard. Whenever you cast a creature spell, create X 1/1 black Thrall creature tokens, where X is that spell's mana value. When you control 7 or more Thralls, sacrifice Endrick Sar Master Breeder.
So I think Kingpin makes sense in the 99 of an Endrick Sar deck, and I think Endrick Sar makes sense in the 99 of a Kingpin deck.
A mutually beneficial relationship.
Because imagine that you have Endrick Sar on the battlefield and then you cast Kingpin. He will make you 4 Thralls. Then you can sacrifice those Thralls for 2 treasures each, and then the next turn you can easily cast like a 5-mana creature spell, get 5 more Thralls, etc., etc. This is probably the most efficient producer of a mass of sacrifice fodder, except that you gotta get to 5 mana before you can do it.
Madame Gao would be proud.
Oh yeah. You can also play some really powerful cards like Culling the Weak, if you could read that one.
Sack a creature, get 4 black mana.
Yep. And it was originally printed as a mana source, a short-lived card type, only lived for about 1 year before they errated it to being an instant. But yeah, I mean, you can just sack one of your Thralls or whatever to make 4 black. There's just a lot of things out there that you could do. I've actually gotten kind of fond of playing, it's a cockroach. Yeah, Brood of Cockroaches in my insect deck.
Ew!
Yep. When this creature is put into a graveyard from the battlefield at the beginning of the next end step, you lose 1 life and return this card to your hand. So you can just play him over and over again and sacrifice him over and over again. So yeah, I think this is another one that is going to be a pretty strong wild card. Maybe up around here. Because you do need to go out of your way for it. And Aristocrats would normally, ideally, be played in 2 or 3 colors, but the reward of getting treasures is pretty huge, as
Honestly,
long as you
that
can,
kind of,
spread it out.
That's kind of in keeping with who Fisk is.
Yeah. I mean, he says he's a man of the people, but honestly, he's willing to throw anyone under the bus in order to make his more perfect world.
He says he wants to uplift the city, but what he really wants is gentrification.
Pretty much.
And he doesn't seem to know the difference.
Yep. And next on our list is Lady Spider. Maybe it's Maybelline. Maybe Maybelle Riley.
Oh, probably a relation to Ben Riley.
Oh, I bet she is.
For 1 mana and a red, you get a 1/3 Spider Human Hero with Reach. Whenever you discard a card, put a 1/1 counter on target Spooter you control. That is going to take some doing because most Spooters are green.
Yep.
She looks cool, though.
Yeah. So, okay, I'm thinking somewhere around here. Like, I don't think that she's a complete reject. She can clearly go in a deck where the commander is the Astonishing Spider-Man, because he's red, she's red, they're both spiders, and he says, like, discard your hand, draw a new hand, kind of.
I kind of want to see how many red spiders there are.
Good question.
I mean, I bet a lot of them are going to be Spooter men, but those count.
Yeah, so we're talking ones that you can play in a mono-red deck?
Yes.
Oh, boy.
I just want to see how far it goes.
Okay, I'm gonna guess the answer is...
Darn near none.
4. Well, okay.
No, it's 17.
There's some artifact spiders. Okay, fine. So there is more than I thought, and these are the best ones. Spider Punk came to mind. Spider Gwen came to mind. Okay, I was gonna guess 4. It is more than that. You get to play the Masked Meower, and it does have a discard ability. So,
Man, Spider-Man new champion is caked.
what? Oh boy. Yep. Spider Islanders, Spider Horror Citizen. Yeah, that's about right. Okay. Well, so it's not impossible. It's just probably not a good idea. But it does say target spider, so that's nice. I love it when they do that rather than like on Lady Spider, like just on herself, because that does open it up a lot more to being in the 99 of a deck like the one of the Amazing Spider-Man. But still, I think that she's kind of bad. unless you really get an engine going, you're like discarding your whole hand every turn and you get lots of counters. Where she might actually be kind of good in the 99. But I haven't seen that deck.
And I think next we're looking at Living Lightning.
Living Lightning, that is true. Not Living Laser, Living Lightning.
We already did the laser.
Another form of energy that has somehow become a man.
For 4 mana and a red, you get a 3/3 elemental hero with flying and haste. At the beginning of combat on your turn, another target creature you control gets +1/+0 and gains haste until end of turn.
So, we are failing the vanilla test, but brought up a bit by flying and haste. If he was 4 mana for 4/4 flying haste, I would say that he's off to a good start, but he's not. And the beginning of your combat, given additional power, can't be to himself. So this guy does not seem like a very good commander to me.
No.
So does he go in the 99? Not great. He is an elemental, which strangely might put him in some elemental decks with some creatures like, what's her name? Ashling?
Ooh, Ashling!
Yeah. You could put him in a deck with one of the Ashlings, like Ashling Rekindled or something. Or any of the commanders that just care about elementals. I think since Elemental is a supported type and Hero is a supported type, and he's not, like, terrible on these other things, that's going to keep him out of being a total reject. But I do think that he's going to go pretty low, probably lower than Lady Spider.
Youch.
In fact, I think Lady Spider is going to go up a little bit. Because I was imagining, what if you discarded, like, 7 cards? That's actually 7 counters. That's actually kind of strong sometimes. Yeah, this guy, though, underwhelming in every regard. Oh, please. Oh, no, it's Loki, God of Lies. Okay.
Who's sitting next to Kang here in this art.
Mm-hmm.
For 1 mana and 2 red, you get a 3/3 God Sorcerer villain. Whenever you cast a spell that targets only a single creature, gain control of that creature until end of turn. If it's your turn, untap that creature and it gains haste until end of turn.
Whenever you cast a spell that targets only a single creature.
Cast spell, target creature, it mine.
This guy comes out on turn 3,
Yep.
passes the vanilla test, and he steals creatures for the low cost of a spell that targets a creature. What was I saying earlier about Expedite? Does it say you control? It does not. So yeah, you could easily play Expedite targeting one of your opponent's creatures, draw a card, and steal it. You can play Brute Strength. That one's not even that good, but you could still give a creature +3/+1 and trample and steal it.
The big hole in this is that you're dependent on whatever your opponents are playing.
I feel maybe the opposite way. Because now, if you can keep your hand full, then your opponents can't play creatures because they'll be yours half the time. Maybe more than half the time. Because you want to be playing cards with flashback. You want to be playing cards with... does replicate count? Like, okay, Giga Drowse isn't red. But
Giga Drow?
Giga Drowse.
Oh, okay. I was thinking of Giant Drow.
When you cast this spell, copy it for each time you pay the replicate cost. No. Okay, so the important thing here is, and I thought that this might work with Storm as well, so we could do like a Grape Shot, but I don't believe it works with Storm. When you cast this spell, copy it for each spell cast before it this turn. You may choose new copies for the target, or targets for the copies. So the important thing here is that this says whenever you cast a spell. So it does not include when you copy a spell, unless you cast that copy.
Look at Wanda totally stealing the spotlight from her son here.
I know, she's like, no, son, this is how you do it. Pacha! As the mother rewrites the fabric of reality, so too does the sun.
Mother is ready for her close-up.
Yes. So I think this deck is going to be brutal. Um, and I would hope that people would aim for like bracket 3 with it, though, because if you try to play it in bracket 2, it's not going to be fun or fair, probably. If you try to play it in bracket 4, you're probably going to get annihilated. Because you didn't bring enough creatures of your own, and half of your spells are like, something gets a little stronger for 5 seconds. But in bracket 3, you're going to have some pretty beefy things that you can target at different points. They're not always going to have removal for it. You can always have some interaction yourself with, like, Tybalt's Trickery, a red counter spell that kind of works.
Sorry, distracted by how hot he is.
He is literally very warm.
I'm hearing like a pipe organ playing Gangster's Paradise right now.
Yeah. Well, that's Loki that's Tybalt. Right around the time that he pretended to be Valky, the Lord of Lies.
The irony.
He pretended to be the Loki of Kaldheim, but it was actually Tybalt in disguise, who was honestly the laughingstock of the multiverse every time before and after this. Not during this one moment. During this one moment, he was strong and cool. But then after that, he like fell off of a bridge and no one ever saw him again. He might as well have done like some goofy, yeah, you know? So Loki, God of Lies, I think he's super, and he's probably up around, like, here? I think that your best bet is to play lots of 1-mana spells that target a creature and draw you a card. There's not a ton of them, but there's probably somewhere around a dozen in red, and they're going to be really strong. So, we go on to Loki, Lord of Misrule.
Look at him having a party.
Yeah.
With a bunch of alternate selves.
Yeah.
For 3 mana and a blue, you get a 3/4 God Sorcerer villain. For blue and a tap, you choose a target creature you control. Each creature you control other than that one becomes a copy of that creature until end of turn. Except it isn't legendary. Activate only as a sorcery. Because too much is never enough.
Huh. Okay, so the first thing that comes to mind is stuff like Lord of Atlantis. Yeah. Okay. Come on. So Lord of Atlantis gives other merfolk +1/+1 and Island Walk. So if you have one of these guys, all of your creatures get +1/+1. Okay, fine. But if you have like 10 creatures and they all become Lord of Atlantis, they all give each other +9/+9 and Island Walk. So that's kind of crazy. So that's the kind of thing that I'm thinking of here that you'd want to do. I don't know if you literally want to do it with Lord of Atlantis, but there's a lot of merfolk that say other merfolk get +1/+1 and something. Maybe Meroregery? Am I close? Yes, I am close. Yeah, and whenever you cast a merfolk spell, you may tap or untap target permanent. Oh my, then you could cast a merfolk spell and trigger like 9 Meroregeries. And it says target permanent, so you could untap Loki and a land. And does that go infinite? No, because Loki himself overwrites himself temporarily, I believe. So I think there is a lot of potential here. I'm not quite sure what the optimal thing to do is, because so far all I've done is make you 9/9/9s, and that's not good enough. I think you can do even better than that. I don't know how, but
there are surely options.
Yeah, and I'm doing this off the top of my head here. So I'm gonna put him in wild card, but pretty high up, like right around here, you know?
Ooh, just below the Kingpin.
Yeah, because I think there's some wild stuff that you can do here, but I'm not sure what all of them are. I think I know what you can do with him. Also, $76? Didn't I open him in my Jumpstart packs?
I do not remember.
I think I did, and I
I was
thought,
busy
oh,
getting
this
my
is...
butt kicked.
Oh, yeah. We did open another really valuable one that I'm not so eager to get rid of, but
We'll
honestly,
get to it later.
Yeah.
Who's next?
Who's next is Lucky the Pizza Dog.
Pizza!
Finally, I get to review one of the first cards that was ever shown off for this set. I don't know why. Maybe it was like a joke at our expense, considering everyone was just going like, enough with the pizza, the Ninja Turtles and stuff. And then they're like, we heard you like pizza and haven't had enough.
Hey, pizza's fantastic.
It is, but like, jeez.
For 1 mana and a green, you get a 2/2 doggo. Whenever you cast a kitty, doggo, or hero spell, create a food token. At the beginning of each end step, if you gained life this turn, put a 1/1 counter on Lucky. Who's your good boy?
He's a pretty good boy. Now, as a commander, you are still stuck on mono green. I don't think mono green dogs is a good enough archetype to really hold a whole deck.
What about
or
mono green
foods.
food?
I don't think that this guy is good enough as a commander for mono green, period. I think if you want to do mono green like life gain, you'd be better off doing somebody who's going to come up later on this list, or really, I mean, Rin and Siri. Is that... Oh my god. That's right, there's a secret layer for Garfield. I'm sorry to say. But this is more like what I was thinking. I think Lucky the Pizza Dog is really good in the 99 of a deck like this one. Rin and Siri is a very popular commander. So much so that it's been in a secret drop like a bunch. Secret layer drop. And Lucky is excellent in the 99 of that deck. Where you have lots of cats and dogs and you're playing multiple colors. So I think it makes sense that he's a sidekick, but honestly he's going way up here.
Who needs the stress of leadership anyway? He's
Yeah.
got pizza.
Yeah! Okay. Next we have Luke Cage, Hero for Hire. Is this art connected to the art for Iron Fist, I wonder?
I think it is.
It probably is. What does he do?
For 2 mana and 2 red, you get a 4/4 human mercenary hero with trample. At the beginning of combat on your turn, create a treasure token.
Sweet Christmas. Honestly, the Netflix Marvel shows are kind of hit or miss. I did enjoy Luke Cage, and him finally busting out his catchphrase, Sweet Christmas, was pretty funny.
Okay,
honestly.
that is an inherently humorous catchphrase, but not like in a stupid way, more of an, wow, you're idiosyncratic way.
Yeah, I mean, he presents as like a really wholesome guy. He's kind of like he's kind of a Boy Scout in a way, that he's the guy who'd be going down the street and saying and like doing random PSAs to people, being like, now remember kids, firefighters are there to help you, check your smoke alarms.
You're never going to believe this, but
Yeah.
the first time I ever heard of this character was in a comic that was an anti-smoking PSA.
There you go. Luke Cage would absolutely like punch out drugs if he could. Okay. Now, a 4-mana 4/4 trampler. We're passing the vanilla test. At the beginning of combat on your turn, create a treasure token. That's not bad. Not terribly exciting as a commander. You're stuck in mono red. I don't know. He compares to other cards like what would be an example? Maybe Zuko, Fire Bending Master. Yeah. Because I'm thinking the firebending there, whenever he attacks, he adds some red mana, in this case equal to your experience counters. But, like, obviously there's some steps that you've got to go through, but the reward is you're making an increasing amount of mana, and he's a 2-mana 2/2 with first strike, so you get him out earlier, and then he gets you an increasing amount of red mana. So that's cool. Luke Cage, it comes out a little later, but he's a little beefier, but he makes you 1 mana every turn. You can hold on to it, you can store them up, but it's... there's just not a lot to do with it. So I think I gotta put him as a sidekick, but he's a pretty good sidekick. If you've got a red deck that wants treasures, he's a reliable, repeatable source of treasures. I'm sure that you can come up with something more interesting to do as a commander, you know? As we have finished another page.
Yes!
Mm-hmm. And on the next page, we have apparently 2 cards that I did out of order again. There. Mach 1 is alphabetically next. I do not know this guy. Mach 1, Swooping Scoundrel.
He reminds me of Mothman.
No,
Killer Moth. Killer Moth. I'm thinking of
Killer Moth.
From
Okay.
DC.
Huh. Alright.
Really? No. Or Firefly?
Oh, yeah, a bit. Regardless.
For 1 mana and a black, you get a 1/3 human villain with flying. When Mach 1 enters, and whenever you gain life, surveil 1. This ability triggers only once each turn.
Boy. Is he worth playing in the 99 of any deck? I think so. I think he's worth playing in the 99 of a deck that gains life every turn. He's no commander. Don't even... No. You should be embarrassed.
Bro, you're happy. You should be happy you're not going straight into reject.
Yeah. And actually, the payoff is Surveil 1, which is pretty good. I'm thinking Kingpin. I'm thinking he goes in the 99 of a Kingpin of Crime deck, where all of your spells have Extort, and so you can gain life on your turn, gain life on other people's turns, and he cares about creatures you control with toughness greater than their power, and his toughness is 3, so you'll get a boost of 2 more power off of him. I think this guy is not that good, but he'll go near the bottom of sidekicks, maybe around, like, here. As we move on to, I saw Machine Man was next, Model X51. Okay.
For 4 mana, you get a 2/3 robot hero. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, put a 1/1 counter on Machine Man, and he gains flying until end of turn.
Huh. Well, I've said before that non-creature spells are pretty easy to do, except in colorless.
Because everything is harder in colorless.
Yep. You are playing no colors, which is hard mode unless you've got a deck that cares about artifacts or cares about Eldrazi. This guy technically cares about artifacts, because a non-creature spell, if it's likely to be an artifact. There are hardly any instants and sorceries that are colorless. And your payoff is a counter and flying temporarily. But that's just not good enough. Now, okay, what if he's in the 99 of a deck? You know what? No, I think I know where he's going. He's going in the rejects.
Ouch.
He's going in the rejects. Maybe around here, I'm not quite sure. Because if he's not your commander, then who cares that you're making him bigger and gaining flying temporarily occasionally? Because if you aren't on a 21 combat damage clock, then this guy is not going to be lending, reliably to that number, I guess you could put him in a robot deck. I guess you could put him in a hero deck, but I bet you can find something better to do.
Technically, we could put him in that toy deck.
Oh, God, because he has... No, he's going to pretty quickly get a +1/+1 counter and then be too big again.
So he's not even going there.
No. Let's not come up with any reason why we might need to play him in anything. He's not good.
I see that Madam Hydra has been biting Doc Ock style.
Okay. Hear me out.
Well, there are tentacles. How far do I need to hear you out?
Oh, do you want me to hear you out too?
Maybe.
She's
but I do draw the line at Nazi, which Hydra is.
Yeah.
That's
pretty much.
That is immediately disqualifying. Like, nope, I don't care how hot you are, get out.
Yep. Well, what does she do?
For 3 mana and a black, you get a 2/2 human horror villain with menace. Madam Hydra gets +1/+1 for each creature card in your graveyard. Whenever Madam Hydra enters or attacks, mill 2.
Okay, so
She's
here's the
getting
question.
stuff in the graveyard, and she gets bigger when stuff is in the graveyard.
So here's the question. Does she pass the vanilla test?
No?
I think the actual answer is if you want her to.
Ah, gotcha.
Because she gets +1/+1 for each creature card in your graveyard. So, and when she enters, she mills you 2. So that'll help get you more creature cards in your graveyard. And I would say that you don't want to cast her like as fast as possible if you have no creature cards in your graveyard. You want to get some fellas dead and then drop her when she does pass the vanilla test. And the payoff is that she can repeatedly mill you for 2, which is not that good, or that you have a commander who grows and has menace as her form of evasion, which is not the best form of evasion. But I'm going to say that she is a wild card, and maybe around, like, here. I think she's all right. If you, for some reason, are interested in something that you see going on here, you could build a commander deck with her. It would probably be all right. In fact, it could even be really strong. You could possibly mill half your deck and then drop her on the battlefield, and she's like a 30/30 with menace.
Maybe Bob should go into her deck.
Well,
Well,
Bob
actually,
seems
no,
to
because-
dodge the graveyard a lot, actually.
So maybe not.
Maybe not, but regardless, she could be easily 21 power in the late game. You could put a Swiftfoot Boots on her and hit somebody, and as long as they don't have 2 or more blockers, there's just a lot of things that have to go right for her to like straight up kill somebody. And the deck could do it, but I think that you'd be better suited with something that pulls its weight a little more. And who do we have next? It's Marvel Boy? Marvel Boy Novar. I think that's maybe the son of Captain Marvel, the original one, whose like name is Marvel. I think.
I have questions about this outfit.
Yeah, what? And also, huh? Especially the hat and the like skin tight shorts, showing off a lot of leg there for us, Novar. What does he do?
For 1 mana and a hybrid blue-white, you get a...
Red-white.
Red-white, sorry. Mm-hmm. You get a 1/1 Kree Soldier Hero. Whenever another creature you control enters, and whenever you activate a power-up ability, put a 1/1 counter on Marvel Boy.
Okay, if he had flying, which he kind of looks like... I guess he's jumping out of a window or something. If he had flying, this would be a good commander. Kind of. But he doesn't. So he's not.
Ugh, check that flavor text. I come from a dimension of universal enlightenment and transcendental peace. Do you have any idea how boring that is?
Oh, okay.
Okay, so now I just kind of want to hit him with a hardcover.
Okay. I'm leaning towards reject. And maybe down around like here.
Once again, we could have guessed from the outfit.
Actually, yeah. Because Kree is not a supported creature type. Soldier and Hero, you can both do a lot better. Getting you access to 2 colors doesn't matter that much. The only thing that he does is get bigger, so he will be keyword large if you do that a whole lot, which you probably can't do that much. And then he doesn't have any kind of evasion or defense or anything like that, so no.
Seems like he's just a self-aggrandizing twerp.
Maybe. I don't know the guy personally.
Well, I just feel like being mean today.
Hey, good news. Matt Murdock, Justice Seeker.
Oh no, I'm in trouble.
Yes, you are. What does he do?
For 1 mana and a white, you get a 2/2 Human Advisor Hero. At the beginning of combat on your turn, you may pay 1. When you do, put a 1/1 counter on target creature you control. Each creature you control with a counter on it has Ward 1.
I bet you'd like him to be serving you some subpoenas.
Yes.
Not. So he protects creatures by putting counters on them, and then they have ward, but only Ward 1. And to put a counter on a creature, you have to pay a mana.
1 mana to get 1/1 and ward as a BOGO.
Yeah, if it said, like, creatures you control have ward X, where X is the number of counters on them, then that would be worth it, maybe? But as it stands, if you put more than one counter on a creature, it still just has ward 1. And I've been playing a lot of a card lately called, I think it's Innkeeper's Talent? Yeah, Innkeeper's Talent, which for 2 mana says at the beginning of combat on your turn, put a +1/+1 counter on a creature you control. Okay, so it does that every turn without having to pay 1 mana. And if you level it up for 1 mana ever, then all of your permanents with counters on them have ward 1. Oh, and then also you can level it up another time and then double the number of counters that are placed on your things every time that you place counters.
Well, not all of us live in a Shire-like paradise. Some of us really do need to earn the money.
Yeah, so basically Innkeeper's Talent is like Matt Murdock, except if he had no bills.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, that means Matt Murdock is not that good. Do you play him in the 99 of a +1/+1 counter deck? Because also, being mono-white holds him back a lot here. Green is the best color at +1/+1 counters. By far. So do you play him in the 99 of a counter deck? I'm hesitant because Ward 1 is not that powerful, and the ability to get +1/+1 counters is not that strong. Okay, I feel really bad because I'm going to reject him.
You are a stronger person than me, then.
Yep. I mean, my hero... No. Sorry. So far, Daredevil, Fearless Fighter, is my hero, and no, he's still going down here. Because honestly, there are a number of things that you can give all of your creatures ward. I mean, heck, you could even play Privileged...
That's not how you spell it.
Is it not?
No, there's too many D's.
Come on. Oh, wait.
Privileged.
Got it. Close enough. Other permanents you control have hexproof. Ta-da! That is a way better effect and worth a card in your deck. Not him, unfortunately.
However, if you're kind of like Matt Murdock minus the Daredevil part...
Comment. Get in the comments. Yeah, let us know.
I would be interested.
Mm-hmm. So, then next on our list is Minotaur. Roxxon CEO? The CEO of Roxxon is a literal Minotaur?
The CEO of ExxonMobil is...
It's a bull market.
Oh my god! I'm happy now.
What does he do?
For 4 mana and 2 black, you get a 4/4 Minotaur villain.
Mm-hmm.
Whenever Minotaur, Roxxon CEO, or another non-token creature dies, you create a 2/1 black villain creature token with Menace.
Huh. When I became CEO, Roxxon was stepping up their renewable energy program. I took us in the opposite direction. Weaponry.
You son of a bitch!
Yeah.
What's a villain token look like?
A what? A villain token?
Yeah.
Oh, I think it's the usual suspects. Yep.
Oh, yeah.
I like that. So, okay. The effect is not bad, except that it comes on an otherwise vanilla 4/4 for 6. If this guy cost 1 mana less, he might be okay in the 99. As a commander, you're still struggling with playing mono black. I think he is a sidekick and an only okay one. Maybe hang out with Foggy.
No!
No. Foggy, get him.
Yeah, Foggy, get him. Legally, I mean.
Yeah, absolutely legally. Foggy would get him legally. Next we go on to Mr. Immortal, who you...
Yes, I remember him from She-Hulk!
Yeah, he was in She-Hulk. He looked a little different. You know, he wasn't as garish as all that. He looked
Man's
like
so conflict averse that instead of getting divorced, he kills himself.
he just, like, jumps out a window or something, and he's like, whoops, oh well, I guess I'm dead.
Yeah, his ex-wives were mad when they found out.
But what does he do in this game?
For 1 mana and a green, you get a 2/1 mutant hero. For 2 mana and a green, you can return this card from your graveyard from exile to the battlefield tapped. From graveyard or from exile.
Craig Hollis couldn't stay dead even if he wanted to.
I put him in the 99 of a deck that exiles stuff a lot.
Wait a second. Hold on. Food Chain. Food Chain was on the Game Changers list up until recently because it can do some nasty stuff. Exile a creature you control. Add X mana of any one color, where X is 1 plus the exiled creature's mana value.
Oh my god, you could...
Exile Mr. Immortal and produce 3 green. And then spend 3 green to cast him... Okay, yeah, it goes infinite with Food Chain.
Auto-cannibalism!
Now, granted, the 3 mana that Food Chain makes you does just bring him back. So you haven't netted any mana. You do need one other piece in order to win the game with it. And for some reason, the first thing that comes to my mind is Essence Warden? This won't win you the game. This will gain you infinite life.
Which will break the game. There's a difference.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, if you gain yourself infinite life and then say go, it's like, what are you doing? What? Okay, instead, there's gotta be ways. In mono green, though? In mono green. Okay, and also, here's the thing. If you don't have Food Chain, what do you do with this guy? Not much.
He's basically... If you need some kind of permanent cannon fodder, I'd say go for it, but if you don't need some kind of permanent cannon fodder to feed, I don't know, an artifact engine, then I wouldn't.
Yeah, because 3 mana to bring back would be a lot if you didn't have something like Food Chain.
And honestly, since you can get him back from graveyard or exile, why would you have him as your commander anyway? He can already be cast multiple times without having to pay taxes.
Well, if you are doing the Food Chain thing, him as your commander does make sense, because then you've got half the combo in your command zone. But if you're doing anything else other than Food Chain, don't play him as your commander.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, and Food Chain, honestly, I think should go back to being a game changer, because there's a handful of commanders that goes infinite with, and I don't think that's cool. But next on our list is Mockingbird. Mockingbird Bobby Morse. What does she do?
For 3 mana and a white, you get a 3/3 human hero. Whenever Mockingbird is dealt damage, put a 1/1 counter on her. She must survive the damage to get the counter. Okay, so we got a blue mage then.
Okay, I feel like I've seen a creature with this ability recently in this set. Because the first thing that I think of to recommend is Light Mine Field. And I know that I recommended Light Mine Field for another deck recently.
Yep.
Because this is one where whenever any creature attacks, Light Mine Field deals damage to it equal to the number of attackers. So as long as you attack with less than 3 creatures, then she gets bopped and then grows. And you can just do that every turn. You can also play... the famous Caltrops that are so good in the Incredible Hulk deck. Because, yes, whenever any creature attacks, this deals 1 damage to it. Mockingbird, boop, gets bigger. Cool.
So we've got a go tall thing going on here.
So, with all that said, no. Nope, no. She does not have evasion. She doesn't have vigilance. She fails the vanilla test. She's in the color that is kind of least able to do damage to herself. She doesn't draw you cards, doesn't cheat you mana, comes out on turn 4. I could go on. She does not have anything worthwhile going for her. I think it's a Black Panther that I'm thinking of that has a similar ability. One of the Black Panthers. In fact, maybe I can Black Panther. Yes. This one is strictly better.
Yeah.
It costs one less for the same power and toughness and ability, and also can power up. So just do that instead. As we move on, oh god, okay. This dweeb.
This Humpty Dumpty looking MFer.
Modoc Evil Intellect.
For 3 mana and 2 black, you get a 3/5 villain with flying. Whenever you draw your second card each turn, target opponent sacrifices a non-token creature of their choice. I draw 2 cards, you die.
Okay, this one's pretty easily a sidekick, and an okay one, though. Maybe up around, like, here. Because... Okay, drawing your second card each turn is a little tricky in mono black, but not that bad. You may have to lose 2 life or something. But then target opponent sacrifices a creature. Sure, it's a non-token creature, so it gets around some of the worst drawbacks of them, like sacrificing a 1/1 squirrel or something. But you can only trigger it once per turn, and you can only target one of your opponents.
And they pick what goes.
Yeah. So, I mean...
Ain't that great.
No. As efficient as you want to try to make him, he's not that good. 3/5 flyer for 5 is not that good. But if you play him in a mono-black villain deck, you might be like, whenever a villain attacks, connive, or something like that, in which case he'd be alright. So, actually, whenever a villain attacks connive, he'd be great, because you'd be drawing a second card every turn. So, cool. But, no, don't make him your commander.
No.
Look at this. Do you want to... Would you show your face if it looked like this? No.
I might out of sheer spite.
Okay. Next we have Molly Hayes, Runaway.
Oh, she's cute.
Yeah, our friend also recognized Molly Hayes from their pool, because apparently he used to read the Runaways comic.
For 2 mana and a red, you get a 3/3 mutant hero. Her power-up costs 5 and a red. You put 2 1/1 counters on her, exile the top card of your library, and until the end of your next turn, you may play that card.
I can too help. Don't leave me in the leapfrog. You know, that is mighty impressive, Molly.
But
Stay in the leapfrog.
Yep, stay in the leapfrog. Sorry, honey.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe another time.
Yeah, because this is just not cutting it.
It is way too specific.
I mean, she's a 3-mana 3/3 with, like, maybe do something eventually. No. Next we have Moon Boy. Moon Boy, the Dino Rider.
Moon Boy!
Yay!
For 1 mana and a green, you get a 2/2 ape human. Dinosaur spells you cast cost 1 less. Whenever Moon Boy attacks while you control a dinosaur, Moon Boy gets 1/1 until end of turn.
Boy, that second ability is not very good.
No.
Nope. +1/+1. It couldn't say, like, for each dinosaur he gets +1/+1. So this guy is at best a 3/3. However, people have been playing a couple of creatures. Let's see. Dinosaur spell cost less to cast. People have been playing Otepec Huntmaster since it was originally printed back in 2017. I'm not, but people have been. And it's a 2 mana, makes your dinosaur spells cost less. Granted, he does give haste, which I think is actually better than what Moon Boy does. And people...
But hey, dino discount.
Yeah. People have also been playing Knight of the Stampede, which makes your dinos cost 2 less. But that costs 4, so I don't play that. Or this one, Kinjali's Collar, makes your dinosaurs cost 1 less for only 1 mana. I'm not playing that one. I'm not playing actually any of these. I'm not playing that many non-dinosaurs in my dinosaur deck. But some people do. It's probably good in like a Pantlaza deck or something. But I'm going to put him in sidekick, and I'm going to put him a little lower down, maybe around here.
Hey, at least he's above General Ross.
Yes. And I saw the next one on our list is Ms. Marvel Elastic Ally. Oh, look at her having a good time. She's got ice cream.
I hope she remembered to pay for it.
I think so. She's good. She's nice.
Yeah. For 2 mana and a hybrid green-white mana, you get a 2/2 mutant inhuman hero with reach.
With reach. Continue.
When Ms. Marvel enters, target creature gets +2/+0 until end of turn.
Okay.
Whenever a creature you control with power greater than its base power deals combat damage to a player, draw a card. This ability triggers only once each turn.
Oh, okay. So, I mean, okay, what is it? Okay, look, I'm gonna struggle here possibly, but I think the name is Kutzil. Yeah.
Kitty.
Okay, so first off, Ms. Marvel, 3 mana, Selesnya, so it's green-white commander, right?
Yep.
2/2. 3 mana, Selesnya, commander, 3/3. Your opponents can't cast spells during your turn. Whoa. Also, whenever one or more creatures you control, each with power greater than its base power, deals combat damage to a player, draw a card.
So Ms. Marvel is slightly worse Kutzil.
Yes, I mean, she has reach, but she's smaller. She gives a +2/+0 bonus, but only when she enters, just for a second. Also, there might be a slight difference in the whole, like, this ability triggers only once each turn, and each with power greater than its toughness, deal combat damage to a player, one or more. I think the way this is worded, you can draw 3 cards if you hit 3 different players, whereas with Miss Marvels, you can't. I think Kutzil is a pretty sick commander. I don't see it very often, but it is pretty sick, and Miss Marvel is a worse version of that. So, but you know
Maybe
what? She might
sidekick?
be good in the 99 of a Kutzil deck,
Yeah.
where she'll have reach, and usually they'll put like an aura or a +1/+1 counter or something on her. So, yeah, I think she's going to be maybe around here.
All right.
Okay. It's not... Oh, I bet it's Namora, huh? No, it's Namor. Okay, I wasn't sure which came first.
Space comes before
Namor
A.
or Namora. So I guess Namora. Well, space comes before A.
Oh, no, wait. Comma comes after...
Okay, I think the way that Marvel... the way that Wizards alphabetizes is that they ignore punctuation. So this is Namora THE, and this is Namora TLE, and this is Namor SC, you know?
Well, all right then.
Regardless, Namora, the Sea Queen.
For 2 mana and a blue, you get a 2/3 mutant merfolk hero with flying, and her power-up costs 5 mana and a blue. You put a +1/+1 counter on Namora. Create 2 1/1 blue merfolk creature tokens.
Why do I think that she's like... Is she... She feels like she'd be the villain of The Little Mermaid 3. And she'd have like an evil song that she'd like dance to with her backup boy toys there.
I think she's less the villain and more of the mean rival lady.
Well, yeah.
Who gets turned into a good guy at the end.
Yeah, I think by the end of the movie they'll be like, you weren't really that evil because this is the straight-to-DVD or straight-to-streaming 3rd movie in the franchise, so since you're not that bad, okay. Because she vamps, okay?
Yep.
But apparently is a hero. Despite all that, a 3 mana 2/3 flying is pretty meh. Powering up for 6 is pretty meh. Getting a counter is definitely pretty meh. Making 2 merfolk, all these things are pretty meh. In fact, I'm not sure if any of those things are strong enough to warrant a place in the 99, considering how competitive merfolk decks are. But I think she might be somewhere around here.
Just above General Ross.
Yeah, for my take, General Ross is the baseline for like you're a jerk. I don't like you. If you're below this line, I kind of don't like you. So like Ms. Marvel and Lady Spider and Moon Boy, I'm like, I like you. You got to be better than General Ross. But no, she's not very good. Now, Namor, the Atlantean King.
I'm looking.
Yeah, respectfully. Here, let me give you a little more art. There you go.
Maybe a little less than respectfully.
Okay, all right, that's fair.
For 1 mana, a white and a blue, you get a 2/2 mutant merfolk noble with flying. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, create a 1/1 blue merfolk creature token. Whenever Namor attacks a player who has more life than you, other creatures you control attacking that player get +2/+0 until end of turn. Imperious Rex! The Empire rules, I think? Empire King? Imperial King? What?
I don't know. King of the Empire or something. Regardless, 3 mana 2/2 flying is off to a good start. Casting non-creature spells to make merfolk is pretty great. And then, okay, so if Namor attacks the person with more life than you, then your other attacking creatures get an additional 2 power.
You have more life than me? Well, screw you.
Yeah. All these things are kind of good.
I really like the artwork, that those clouds are
Clearly.
so atmospheric. I like our menacing merfolk in the water, and Namor is just doing the float of power.
Oh, yeah. You know what he reminds me of is a scene in Game of Thrones. I'm not sure if you've seen with the Night King. Did you get to the Night King? Did you get to the army of skeletons?
I think.
Okay. Well, we'll talk about it later, maybe. But this is pretty good. The problem is that there's a lot of competition for merfolk commanders. I think in the blue-white space, he is one of your best bets. And so I think... God dang it. He's not on our list.
Oh.
Yep.
Well...
He's not on our list. You know what he's in? He's in the Fantastic Four deck.
Oh.
So, cool. I'm not going to tell you what rank he's going to be unless you watch the Fantastic Four deck. So, there you go. Cliffhanger, teaser. Namor, Scourge of the Seas. What does he do?
For 3 mana and 2 blue, you get a 4/4 mutant merfolk villain with flying. Each other merfolk you control with a 1/1 counter on it has flying.
Oh.
At the beginning of combat on your turn, target creature you control connives.
Well, that's all pretty mid compared...
Make them merfolk fly!
Yeah. I'm thinking compared to... what is his name? Hackball? Yes!
Sorry.
Yeah. What, like hacking up a fur ball?
Yeah.
Okay. So, why don't you read this one to us as punishment?
What?
For
You laughed.
I did too, yes.
At the beginning of combat on your turn, each merfolk creature you control explores, and that's where you reveal the top card of your library and put that card into your hand if it's a land. Otherwise, put a 1/1 counter on the exploring creature, then put the card back or put it into your graveyard. Whenever Hawkball of the Surging Soul attacks, you may put a land card from your hand onto the battlefield. If you don't, draw a card.
Okay, so this guy is one of the most popular merfolk commanders, in part because, you know, the whole every turn each merfolk you control explores, and the way that Explore works, you can reveal a non-land card, get a +1/+1 counter, and then leave it on top of your library, and then for the next one that explores, you reveal the same card. And so effectively you can just give all of your creatures +1/+1 counters every turn, and then when you attack, you also play a land or draw a card. That's all pretty great. All your merfolk get +1 counters, and you either draw an extra card or play an extra land. Sick. So also you have access to green, and it's 4 mana, and this is 5 mana. So in a lot of ways, you know what? He is good in a Hawkball deck, though, because he will give them flying, and he doesn't compete for the same, like, turn Actually, I think he's quite good in a Hawkball deck, so I'm going to say that he's a pretty highly rated, maybe around here, sidekick.
Is anyone else a little annoyed that they keep giving him more pants?
Uh, Also, here he's a villain, and here he's a noble.
He's kind of both.
He has been a hero and a villain and neither.
And his defining feature is his pride.
Yeah.
Seriously, give him his manties back.
Okay. So Nick Fury, I think, is the next one on our list. Yes, he is. I actually checked this time and didn't do half of a review before I realized he's not on our list. So what does the Spy Master version of Nick Fury do?
I like this artwork. Very stylized, very neato.
Yeah,
For
action pose.
For 4 mana and a white, you get a 4/4 human spy hero with first strike. Whenever a creature you control attacks alone, draw a card. Then you may put a creature card with mana value 3 or less from your hand onto the battlefield. It enters tapped and attacking and gains indestructible until end of turn.
Okay, so that's tricky. I mean, so he comes out on turn 5, which is kind of late to be, getting your main thing going. You do have to set up in order to get, a creature that can attack alone and a creature that has a mana value 3 or less that you want to put on the battlefield and all that. And he allows you to cheat on mana, but he only allows you to cheat on mana of things that are small. Come on. I think... Okay, I think where I want to put him is at the bottom of wild card. Okay, because the ability's kind of powerful. A 4/4 first strike for 5 with a kind of card draw ability is kind of good, but attacking with a creature alone is a drawback. Okay? If it wants you to attack with a creature alone, that means that, you can't attack with multiple creatures or you don't get your benefit. It actually discourages you from playing optimally. Okay? It's saying, play suboptimally, and if you do, I will give you a free medium-sized deuter sometimes. And yet, maybe you can do something pretty powerful with that, and he is kind of worth his stats, and he does at least draw you a card, so that's why I'm putting him at the bottom of wild cards. Because you definitely have to work for it, but maybe it's worth it. But we're moving on to Nico Minoru, Runaway. Another one of the Runaways.
She looks a bit like Nancy from The Craft. I like that.
Yeah. I like that she's I think she's Asian, and she's got a fishnet thing and total goth outfit.
Okay, I want to wear that dress.
Oh yeah. Hell yeah, I want you to wear that dress.
I think that most people around would want me to wear that dress.
Yeah. Let's look into that sometime. Also, that's a cool staff.
Yeah, it is.
Well, she's a warlock. Why don't you tell us what she does?
For 3 mana and a red, you get a 2/4 human warlock hero. Whenever you cast a spell from anywhere other than your hand, Nico Minoru deals 2 damage to each opponent. For 2 mana, a red, a tap, and discarding, exile cards from the top of your library until you exile a non-land. You may cast that card without paying its mana cost. Super.
This to me seems really cool. She is competing with some other cast from exile kind of creatures. They are better. Some of them, the tiefling with a book.
Oh, Prospero.
Prosper. Prospero would be a good name. I think that's a Greek guy from some movie or some story.
Actually, he's from Milan.
Okay.
And he's from a Shakespeare play.
Oh, okay.
Although there are other Prosperos, I'm pretty sure there might be one in the Edgar Allan Poe canon.
Regardless, Prosper is a good commander who cares about playing things from exile.
No, wait, I was thinking of Fortunato. Never mind.
Okay. Well, I remember in the movie Gladiator, Prospero is his best friend who has a massive scar on his face. and it calls out his name multiple times, and it became like a little in-joke with me and my friends. We'd see each other and we'd go like, Prospero! Yeah, anyway. So casting a spell from anywhere other than your hand deals 2 damage to each opponent. Each opponent is pretty key. Dealing 2 damage is off to a good start. There's a lot of ways that you can double that damage or more than double it.
Flashback, anyone?
Mm-hmm. Discarding a card to exile until you hit a spell. So one of the tricks, though, is that you may cast the card. That means right now, okay? You have to do it now. But it's free. It's
free
free,
real estate.
y'all. You know what's a crazy thing that you could do here? Have, like, 2 spells in your deck. In fact, wait a second. Can you go World Fire? Can you read this card for us?
Exile all permanents, exile all cards from all hands and graveyards. Each player's life total becomes 1. Dishonor on you, dishonor on your family, dishonor on your cow.
Mm-hmm. So if you control Nico Minoru, and World Fire is the only spell in your deck because the other 98 cards are mountains, then you'll 100% of the time cast that. When you do, you'll trigger Nico to deal 2 damage to each opponent. Unfortunately, the order that will work is that your opponents will each take 2, and then absolutely everything will be annihilated, and then everyone's life total becomes 1. And you'll do that 100% of the time every single game. Then what? I don't know.
But there's probably a card that can help you answer that question.
You know what? Ramunap. Ruins. There, you just play this land where you can sacrifice it to do 2 damage to each opponent. Problem solved, you win the game.
This is some bracket 4 nonsense.
Yeah, there could be... So, is that the optimal thing to do with her? No, but you can absolutely put some crazy freaking bombs in your deck. You can do, what killed the dinosaurs?
The Ice Age.
Wrong. Mr. Freeze was wrong when he said that.
Yes, he was.
And I think we knew it at the time, too.
Yes, you are correct, but you walked right into that
I
one.
know I did. I was kind of hoping you'd do that. I think it's Star of Extinction is what I'm thinking of, and I forgot to see. There it is. Can you read that card for us?
Destroy target land. Star of Extinction deals 20 damage to each creature and each planeswalker.
Oh, it doesn't hit players.
Nope.
Not good enough. How about Into the Maw of Hell? How about that one?
Destroy target land. Into the Maw of Hell deals 13 damage to target creature.
Alright, so I don't know if this is going to win you the game, but you get to play the most metal freaking card names of all time, okay?
So, yeah. She's cool.
Yeah, hell yeah. Alright.
She's gonna cast some shit at you.
Oh yeah. And Nighthawk?
Yes.
Like my router?
Like that one Edward Hopper painting?
Oh, the Nighthawks. Also, I think we've seen him in some Magic card art where we've been like, and that weird guy. Okay, well, what does Nighthawk Dark Defender do?
He wishes he were Batman from the looks of it.
And he doesn't have Defender.
For 1 mana and a white, you get a 2/1 human hero with flying. Whenever Nighthawk or another hero you control enters, target creature gets +1/+1 until end of turn.
Jeez. You hate to see it. I mean, why? You get a temporary +1/+1 to somebody when a hero enters. He's a mediocre flyer. No.
Once again, we could tell he was a reject from the outfit.
Pretty much. Next is Patriot. And I think we'll make this one our last one for today. It has been a long recording day already. Patriot, Young Avenger. What does he do?
For 2 mana and a hybrid red-white mana, you get a 3/2 human hero with prowess. And again, whenever you cast a non-creature spell, the creature gets +1/+1 until end of turn. As long as Patriot is equipped, other creatures you control get +1/+0.
Well, prowess is kind of good. 3 mana, 3/2 with that. you're not quite passing the vanilla test, but pretty close. And then I guess you want to play lots of equipment. So usually when I think of prowess, I think of an instant and sorcery kind of deck, like a spell slinger. But equipment are artifacts, which are non-creature spells, unless you're doing like a reconfigure kind of artifact creature, like Lizard Blaze or something.
Thing is, he doesn't get +1/+0 per equipment. It's just, does he have an equipment? Yes, 1, that's it.
Yeah, so he gives a flat rate of 1, but to all of your other creatures. And also, whenever you cast one, he will get that prowess trigger until end of turn for each one that you cast. None of those things seem good enough to me.
Yeah.
And is he good in the 99? I'm skeptical because only giving 1 extra power doesn't seem like enough.
I'd play him in a Jumpstart deck, but not a Commander deck.
Yeah, I think I'm going to put him right about here. I think he's one of the best rejects, but I think in an equipment deck, you've just got too much competition. In a prowess deck, you've got too much competition. Even in a total, like, go-wide deck, he's only giving +1/+0. No. Pass on him.
Man, we did a lot of rejects today, didn't we?
Yes, we did. And I think we got through, hopefully, more than half of what was remaining there.
I think so.
Also, you know what? There.
Yeah.
Because I think that is really cool, actually. Not the one where you have 98 mountains. Not that one.
No.
Don't do that. But, I mean, getting a random free spell and always hitting somebody for 2 when you do so, that's kind of cool. Too bad other colors can't be as fun as red. Like Loki God of Lies is almost going up there for me.
Looks like the redheads are having more fun this time around.
And Iron Fist Hero for Hire is a little tempting too. But yeah, I think that's how I feel so far. And I think we're going to catch you in the next one. I don't know if it's going to be 1 or 2 more videos, but something like that.
Hopefully
we need to catch
1.
our breath. And we'll catch you in the next one, everybody.
Bye-bye.